Welcome back to the class, children. I am your science teacher and my name is Mrs. Jyoti. So we are in lesson 4, animals living and surviving. So most of the part we have completed. Today we are going to end up the lesson, and in the next part I am going to tell you the objective also. So we have learned about different things like adaptation, habitat, and based on the habitat there are 5 different types, and based on the eating habits again there are 4 major categories. So based on the habitat we have terrestrial animals, we have aquatic animals, we have like amphibious animals, then arboreal animals and aerial animals. Now based on the eating habits we have herbivores, carnivores, omnivores and then parasite. And we also have scavengers, and scavengers they come under omnivores or carnivores. So this is all we have learned. Page number 284. Page number 284. So we have learnt in the previous session about what do animals eat. Herbivores eat only plants, carnivores eat only animals, and omnivores eat both plants and animals. And then parasites are the animals which depend on the other living organism. They live either inside the body of the organism or outside the body of the organism. And then scavengers, they depend on the completely dead and decaying plants and animals. Now today we will learn about adaptation for protection from danger. Adaptation from adaptation for protection from danger. For example, when we carry small babies, if they don't like us, to protect themselves, what do? Either they pinch or they scratch. Otherwise, they completely just get down and they go away from us, isn't it? Or if any animal is coming near to us to bite us or something, we hold a stick and we protect ourselves, isn't it? So in the same way, animals also, they have certain body features to protect themselves from the enemies. So let us see what are the body parts which help them from the enemies. So adaptation for protection from danger. It is very important for animals to protect themselves and live long enough to reproduce. So it's very important for an animal to live long. So even we also want to live for a longer period, isn't it? So in the same way, animals also, they also want to live for a longer period. So to live for a longer period, they have to eat proper food and they have to maintain themselves from the enemies. So as they are going to live long, even they are going to reproduce also. So what is reproduction? Reproduction is nothing but giving birth to a baby, or they give birth directly to the baby, or else they are going to lay the eggs. So living for a longer period is very essential for each and every living thing. So let us learn about the 3 common ways by which animals protect themselves from their enemies. So here there are 3 major features. So let us see what are the. Page number 285. So deer and kangaroo run very fast to escape from their enemies. So there are some animals like cheetah, then deer and then kangaroos. So they have very strong legs to run very fast from the enemies. Like cheetah, it runs after a deer, isn't it? So both run very fast. If any animal comes to hunt the cheetah also, it also runs very fast. So certain animals, they can run very fast to get escape from the other animals. Buffaloes and elephants have stay in a group to protect themselves from the attack of enemies. They form a circle around their young ones to save them from the danger. And if you see buffaloes, cows and elephants and zebras also, and goat also. So these are all animals, they stay in group. They don't live separately like lion and tiger and all. They live in a group, and if any enemy comes near, they are going to form a circle, and inside the circle they are going to put their babies to protect themselves from the enemies. And if any animal comes near also, the elephant has trunk, and the buffaloes and cows, they have horns, isn't it? So with the help of that horns, they are going to protect themselves from the enemies. Rhinoceros and buffaloes have horns for their defense. Defense is nothing but protecting themselves. So here rhinoceros, it has horns near the mouth, and elephant also, it has like trunk near the mouth, and buffaloes, they have on their head. So with the help of that horns, they are going to kick it in the other animal. So by this way, they are going to protect themselves from the enemies. Then tortoise and snails, they have a hard shell on their body. When sensed any danger, they go inside the shell. So snail and tortoise and sea turtle and all, they have very hard shell on their body. So whenever they sense that something danger is there, or when you touch the shell of that animal, immediately they close all their legs and body parts into the shell. So the shell is going to protect these animals. When you see a tortoise also, when you touch it, what happens? Immediately the head goes inside and it pulls away all its legs inside, isn't it? So here the shell is going to protect the animal. Zebras, tigers and leopards have strips or spots on their bodies which help them to look similar or merge with their immediate surroundings. This phenomenon is called as camouflage. To avoid becoming a prey, stick insects also use camouflage to blend into their surroundings. So, there is a feature called as camouflage. So, it's nothing but animals like zebra, tiger and lion and cheetah. So, all these animals, they have spots. Like cheetah, it has spots on its body, like circles and all. And zebra, tiger and all, they have strips. Strips in the sense, like this lines will be there. So, and the color of the animal, they live in the jungle, right? So, the color and the strips, what happens is, they are completely mixed with their surroundings. Suddenly, if we see that animal also, we cannot recognize, because the color of the forest and the color of the animal, it completely get mixed with the surroundings. So such kind of feature we call it as camouflage. And if you see this chameleon also, it looks same like a lizard but little bigger in size. So this animal also, on whichever, like if it is on the board is green color, immediately it has a feature that it can change itself into a green color. Otherwise, if it is on my hand only, for example, I am telling, if it's on my hand, so it is brown, right? So as it is on my hand, it is able to change its color slowly into brown color, so that it get mixed with the surroundings, so that the enemies cannot see the animal over here. And if you see, like grasshopper and sticks insect also. Stick insect, it is in brown color, which is merged with the surroundings. And even grasshopper also, it lives on grass. Grass is green color and grasshopper is also green color, so that the enemies cannot identify the insect immediately. So such kind of feature we call it as camouflage. Porcupines have sharp spines on their body to keep themselves from the predators away. So here you can see this is a puffer fish, and porcupine is a small animal which looks like a rat, little bigger size in rat, and even some kind of pigs also. So they have spines on their body. Spines are nothing but the thorns. So like this, all over the body they have spines, except the head. Except the head, the remaining body completely it is with the spines. So it gets protected itself with the help of this spines. Pufferfish or blowfish has a unique defense mechanism to scare away predators. When the pufferfish is threatened, it inflates its body with air, exposing the long, sharp, toxic spines. This normally frightens the predator. So here you can see the pufferfish. So the pufferfish is normally like other fishes only, but whenever it senses the danger, what happens is it blows the air into it. Okay, it blows away the air into it so that it becomes into a round ball. So normally when the fish doesn't senses any danger, it is in the shape of other fishes only. But whenever it senses the danger, it blows the air into its body and it becomes into a round ball. So when it becomes into round ball, what happens in the picture you can see all the spines are elevated. Elevated in the sense they come up like this. So when this spines are there, the enemies, what happens is they see that spines and they get frightened. So with these features, animals are going to protect themselves from their enemies. And if you see the next one, adaptation in behavior. So with this we will complete the session. So how do animals adapt themselves in their behavior? Animals have also developed special habitat to suit their surroundings. Like the Siberian crane come to India every year from Siberia in order to escape the severe cold. This movement of animals from one place to other place for feeding or breeding is called as migration. So Siberian cranes, they live in the cold regions. So during winter season there will be so much of snowfall and all. So that these animals, they cannot bear such kind of climatic conditions. So during winter season, as there is so much of snowfall and severe climatic condition, they are going to migrate. They are going to travel from there till here for a longer distance. So while traveling, what happens is they are going to feed. They will feed themselves and their babies, and they are going to even breed also. Breed is nothing but giving birth to the young ones by laying the eggs. So Siberian cranes are the birds which travel from one place to the other place during the winter season. So here we have winter normally only, but in some other countries there is so much of snowfall where the birds cannot tolerate it. So in winter season the birds are going to come here to India. They travel so much of distance, and that is called as migration. And next, turn the page number 286. Some snakes, the Arctic ground squirrels and frogs cannot survive in the cold winter months. So they eat a lot during summer and store the extra food in their body as fat. When winter arrives, they sleep in caves or underground holes for many months in order to escape from the harsh climatic condition. And this phenomenon is called as hibernation. So some animals like even polar bears also. So best example I can give you as the polar bear. So they also live in the very cold climatic condition in the hilly areas. So during the summer season, what happens is mostly they don't have rainy season, but they have the summer and winter. So during summer season, what happens? They eat lot of food. They eat so much of food and they store the extra food as fat under the skin. And in winter season, as there is continuous of snowfall, they cannot tolerate that kind of extreme climate. So they are going to sleep deep inside the holes like snakes. They sleep deep inside the holes. And these animals like polar bear, they live inside the den. So these animals, they never come out during the winter season for the 3 to 4 months. And this 3 to 4 months, they do not eat any kind of food. And how do they survive then? Whatever extra food is stored under the skin, they are going to use this fat as the food for the animal. So this kind of process is called as hibernation. It's called as hibernation. So migration is they move from one place to the other places during winter season, and hibernation is they go into a deep sleep during the winter season and they never come out till that 3 months is completed. Only again when the summer starts they are going to come back. Then last one. Some animals such as crocodiles and lungfish cannot survive in drought and extreme heat conditions. So they go to sleep for a longer time in summer months, and this is known as estivation. Okay, this is known as estivation. So here you can see there is a squirrel. So these kind of animals, they cannot tolerate the extreme heat conditions. Till now we have seen the animals which cannot tolerate the extreme cold conditions, but these animals, they cannot tolerate the extreme heat conditions. So these animals, they cannot survive in the extreme hot conditions, so they go into sleep for a longer period till the summer is finished. So such kind of process we call as estivation. It's called as estivation. And one more, migration also we have learned. Yes. So in migration and hibernation, animals, they fear to come out during the winter season. So in hibernation, animals, they sleep for a longer period. They sleep for longer period and they never come out. In migration, these animals cannot store the fat in their body. They have to eat continuously like us. So these animals, they travel for a longer distance to eat in search of the food, and even in the breeding process also. And next is estivation. So these animals, they cannot tolerate extreme heat. So these animals are going to sleep for a longer period during the summer season. So that's all for today. And your homework is you have to write about migration, hibernation and estivation. Your homework is define migration, hibernation, estivation. So here A is silent, so estivation, we pronounce it as estivation. So define migration, hibernation and estivation 2 times in homework book. Okay, so this is your homework. That's all for today. So hope you all have understood till now. We will meet in the next session and we are going to do the objective part. So thank you. We'll meet in the next session. Next time we are going to complete even the question and answers.